Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alexander Frevel, and I'd like to present some ideas on creation of qualification profiles for a new dual bachelor program, Human Resources and Business Administration. Excellent conditions for the development of the Knowledge Alliance for Human Resources are provided by the network of chambers, associations and universities as the Hanse-Parlament in the Baltic Sea region. Nevertheless, additional studies were necessary for the development of a transnationally applicable concept as a New Deal bachelor's program, especially for SMEs. In my contribution, I will present three main results. In the first step, a transnational comparison was made to find out whether there are similarities and differences between the countries with regard to the conditions for SMEs, and if so, in regard to which aspects. Secondly, as an important basis for the development of the study program, the essential requirements and needs for qualifications suitable for SMEs had to be determined. In doing so, the special relevance of social and personal competences in particular was worked out. Thirdly, the qualification profiles for the dual study program were developed on this basis. In the process, it has become clear that it is particularly important to emphasize competences in personal management and thus personality development as a leader should have a much higher significance than in the case in usual study programs. The recommendations therefore focus on promoting leadership quality as an integral approach to combining knowledge, skills and people-oriented value-based action. The basic approach is made practicable through methodological indications. In the first step, I'd like to present some relevant similarities and differences between the Baltic Sea countries. The countries are similar in regard to economic structure, especially the share of SMEs, the social structure, demographic situation and development trends and educational system. Very much enterprises have or expect a shortage of junior staff, managers, leaders, owners and entrepreneurs. That limits existence and growth of SMEs. The aging of current business owners leads to the need to develop or recruit new entrepreneurs. In the Baltic Sea countries, the share of SMEs is more than 99%, and the share of employees is over 60 up to 80%. In the European Union, fewer children will be born in the next 30 years than will be necessary to reproduce the population. We talk about a dejuvenation of society. At the same time, the aging of the population will lead to an extremely high proportion of people over 60, with a declining proportion of the labor force. This has implications for the financial viability of social systems and for the demands of employable persons. The countries in the Baltic Sea region are different. I pick up three essential aspects. Their difference due to historical developed social cultures, laws and rules, manifested structures and tasks of institutions. There are differences established culture of social and economic relations, including negotiation processes, design of human working conditions, diversity and non-discrimination. And third, with regard to the structure of the educational system, what and how is taught, quality and depth of cooperation between companies and educational institutions. It is to be noted that the Baltic Sea countries have in interstate comparisons different speeds of development at the same time, for example in demographic change, economic development, application of digitalization. The question is, are there basically differences between SMEs? All companies have the same or similar challenges. There may be differences between SMEs due to the fact whether they are located in rural or urban areas, whether there are influences due to the competitive situation, or whether there is, for example, easy access to universities or further education providers. But yes, there are differences between SMEs and larger companies due to the size of the company, especially when there is a lack of resources for human resources and organizational development. And there are differences that lie in the so-called soft factors, for example, creativity, flexibility, speed of adaptation, dealing with the unexpected. Can SME structures be typologized? As a result of the research, no, SME structures can't be typologized. There are no generally suitable differentiation criteria. In the fields of HR policy or workplace innovation, which allow a clear, unambitious, systematic structuring in the sense of typology. For this, the characteristics are too diverse and occur simultaneously in different graduations. A serious difference can only be found in the financial opportunities depending on the size of the company and thus the resources available for management tasks. Therefore, a tool, a checklist for the specific analysis of the current situation with indications of possible or necessary changes was developed. In the second part of my contribution, I will present some facets of qualification needs and requirements. Viewed overall, there are identical or similar qualification needs in SMEs, A, of workers and executing employees, for example, to carry out work in a professional manner, to produce quality products and services, to adapt flexibly to changes and innovations, to engage in lifelong learning, to take on responsibility. And B, there are similar or identical qualification needs of business owners, managers, superiors or other leaders. I will not name all aspects, but will test your ability to grasp complex issues quickly. Summarized, managers with duties in business administration and organizational development need profound knowledge and skills for administration, continuous diagnosis, action planning, implementation and evaluation, with the goal of transferring knowledge and skills to organizations to improve their capacity for solving problems and managing future change, and aligning organizations with their rapidly changing and complex environments through designing human and innovation promoting working conditions, organizational learning, knowledge management and transformation of organizational norms and values. Superiors with personal leadership and human resource development tasks should be able to improve individuals and the organizational system by promoting workability and employability, expanding knowledge, skills and abilities of employees through open and appreciative communication and participative leadership. For this, they need a human-oriented value system and role clarity. Thus, they create organizational climate and influence members' collective behavior. Management and leadership. Management is a discipline. Leadership is a matter of character. Not all leaders are managers, but all managers are leaders. Therefore, managers need leadership competences, and for leaders it is good to have management knowledge and skills as well. In the last part of the presentation, I will focus on what I consider to be important requirements for the qualification profile of the dual study program. In doing so, I will explore the questions of whether an improvement in existing educational provisions is sufficient, or B, is there a need for a new paradigm of competence development for human-oriented leadership? As you can see, my answer is yes, we need a new paradigm that places a strong emphasis on people-centered leadership, with the assumption that the essential teaching contexts for business administration and human resource policy are contained in all curricula. They must nevertheless be adapted with regard to national specificities, national laws, regulations and rules, institutions of health, social and pension insurance, as well as state supervisory services, chambers and associations, type of school and vocational training, other cultural aspects. The dual study program needs adaptations in the sense of extensions in the content, orientation and methodological approach. Usual business administration degree programs focus on imparting theoretical knowledge and methodological competence. A rather technocratic understanding of tasks and duties of managers prevails. The combination of studies with practical training enables the optimized application of knowledge and skills. The dual bachelor study program is an ideal path. There is a considerable gap regarding the topics of human resource management, personal leadership, and people-oriented workplace design. What are the necessary elements in training and studies? It is knowledge, skills and capabilities, social and emotional competence. To concretize and strengthen this statement, conventional and traditional curricula focus often and very strongly on management aspects, tasks, methods, tools, knowledge, roles and function. More emphasis should or must be placed on leadership competences, attitude and behavior, communication with appreciative dialogues, recognizing expectations, participation, cooperation, own personality development, and supporting the development of others by coaching and mentoring. That leads to some recommendations. It is to be emphasized that the training and study should promote the desire for personal management, for leadership, and for learning and understanding all challenging topics, following a path to explore and discover the world of business and work. Just enjoy leadership and enjoy the teaching of leadership skills, attitudes and behavior. As an integrated approach to a modern strategic human resource policy for all generations throughout their professional life course, the tried and tested model of workability is recommended being suitable. It should be subject of training and further education. The actively acting role of learners is emphasized the concept of experience-based learning. The didactic model is built on the assumption that only direct, practical engagement with an object of learning enables effective, meaningful learning. Learning takes place on the basis of concrete experience with a real character instead of in artificial learning environments. Methodologically, an interaction of concrete experience and its reflection regarding the correspondence with abstract concepts and the subsequent adaptation in active implementation is recommended. David Korb's learning cycle is a suitable approach for this. The method, knowledge acquisition according to individual needs, is based on this approach and actively uses the learning cycle. The learning object is defined as an individual task in orientation to the topic. In the company, the students try out the practical implementation through conceptual planning, coordination with colleagues and superiors, and realization. The results are presented in the learning group and evaluated with regard to the procedure and the benefit. The greatest learning effects can be achieved when active doing is combined with theory-guided reflection. Integrative linking of theory and practice is the ultimate way to dual qualification. As a guide for the journey towards professional satisfaction of learners and teachers, the following points are worth to be highlighted. Discover and promote one's own talents. Recognize whether one's inclinations are more oriented towards management or leadership, or a good combination of both. Emotional and social intelligence as a quality alongside cognitive and manual skills and competences is necessary for all persons who take on tasks of leadership and operational management. The meaningful as well challenging task in teaching is to explore, actively develop and promote individual talents, that is, to enable and to ennoble them. Dear lecturers, don't hang your head. The challenges may foster your desire to develop future leadership talents. And therefore, and despite of all, come on, let us walk together on the wild side, taking the path of developing future leaders in a strengthening and delightful way. Thank you.